hardest time getting this thing set up this morning. So I don't know. It started moving. No telling what it's going to do. It keeps, I don't know, it keeps doing stuff, popping my phone off, moving. It's annoying. But I have a whole bunch of things I want to talk about. But I'm going to say first is this hair thing. I was really not expecting this like so quick. Like, I am so tripped out. Like, this is wild. And even though this part where you can see, because in the reflection right here, like, I don't know what it looks like when you're in the playback part, but in this part on the camera, this makes it look like it's like still like a little bit of white here. But I go in the mirror in the bathroom and it looks kind of like maybe I have some highlights. It's more like the color of my hair, and it's just like a little bit lighter. Like, I don't know why this light is picking it up and making it look white, but there is like where all of this was becoming white. It was going white so fast too. I kept looking and I kept going, man, my hair is turning white quick. But I kept thinking, well, my mom's hair is so pretty. I like it. And and all these little hairs were all white, all these baby hairs that have been growing back. And so anyways, but my whole thing is now is, it's a copper, like if your hair is turning silver or gray, your body is telling you something's wrong. Is how I see it now. I see like we have, we're made up of minerals and elements and stuff. And man, this is like, because last night when man, at night it is wild. I don't even bug. I don't think I sleep anymore. I'm just up I'm like up because I'm talking all fucking night. So I'm seeing things and I'm being shown things. It's just like, it's wild. But so how I see it is that like because they do all this stuff on purpose, and then like they know around the time it's going to affect you. That's why even where a doctor's office is, if you're over 60. And why they even had retirement age. I think the reason they started moving it is because so many people were living long, and then it's like, fuck, we don't want, like, they want people to be going faster. So, so whatever it is they do, it's like through diet, through toxins, it's like a whole lifestyle that's created that is killing you, like from the start. So it's like this whole lifestyle is killing you from the start. So your participation is like, you participate in your lifestyle, or do you listen to your body? And do you kind of start to understand your body and acknowledge what it's going through? Like, even when my hair was turning silver, I was hearing those people say that, I wasn't even thinking of it in the same way as how I am now at all. Like, this is really mind-opening to me, is for that fast, because it is, the only started drinking it daily where I just started changing so fast was after I got the magnesium. See, and it wasn't even, like, that's universe stuff. Like, somebody says, oh, you got to get magnesium for something. So I get the magnesium because I was taking magnesium and vitamin D and stuff. But then all this stuff was coming out about the vitamins, all had the black stuff in it. And I was just like, fuck, anything that they get a hold of, that they fuck with. And there's so much proof of that. Like, there's so many video after video after video. I mean, the whole fucking world is whistleblowing at this point. And so so much stuff with the fucking food, and so much stuff with the fake food, so much stuff with bullshit. What was I saying about, well, whatever. The foods don't have the stuff in it that we need to keep us healthy. And then even lying and saying, like, there's a whole thing about, like, you shouldn't be drinking cow's milk. And there's more stuff about that. There's some, it's just all bad. And then even the way they get it, it's all gross and full of pus and it's nasty, and the cows are not healthy, and it creates a lot of mucus. Which, what do they use for the parasites? So, because mucus is a heavy, it's like a transport, it's like a taxi. It's like, it's so weird because everything, like I'll see things, but I'm always seeing everything on micro, macro, and it's trippy because it's like, oh, wow, yeah, because it is. It's like everything is a representation of everything else, no matter what the size. We're only a representation of something else. And if you want to think of it as being gods, you know, the more original humanoids. But then I think about my DNA and I think, I swear to God, I've got mantis in me. I've said it for a long time. So it is just like my body type. I've just, for a long time, I've always thought, God, I think I look like a praying mantis. Anyways, not because my butt droops, but it's because of just, it's kind of just like goes straight up and down like this thing with these long arms. I don't know. I just, and mantises are real, just like the lemurs, all these different things, everything. Oh, and I don't know if I said this one yesterday, but it just popped into my head really hard because of the puppet thing. So those puppets, they're being pulled up out of the water, and there's so many people talking about them and being like, because they pull them off, because I've seen these puppets in these parades somewhere, and they always make like it's in some other country, and they're parading these ginormous, they call them puppets. I did see one where, and I talked about this one a couple years ago, because it was so fucking huge, and it was a robot. They were saying it was a robot, and it was on a stage, and there was a whole thing out there. But the way that it was acting, that's where I was, oh my God, they are stealing people's consciousness and putting it in these things. And so that's what I saw when I saw this big robot. And the robot was standing there looking around like, where the fuck am I? What is going on? Like, very dazed and confused. And you could tell, like, I don't know, maybe some people can't read souls' eyes or something. Maybe, I don't know. Everybody's in their own world, literally. But anyways, so if you can see their confusion and stuff, especially that robot one. That really was freaking me out. And that's where I started saying, man, they are taking consciousness and putting it in things. They're putting it, and then I kept seeing more things. When you start going in a direction, you'll see it just starts unfolding. It's like, oh my God, then you learn about the black box. Then you start seeing these movies where they're taking them and putting them in the computer, and then you start seeing these video games popping up with people who say they're from Canada and they can't find their way home and they can't find their family and they want to know where they're at. It's like, oh my God. And there, you know, of course, they have the fucking conscious sucking machine, because they know that's what that's all about. Especially, even if they can harvest organs, once you're laying in a goddamn morgue, and they still, make sure and grab the organ. We need those. It's like, fuck off with this fucking shit. This place is fucking so weird, man. So weird. Like, I thought it was weird when I was younger, but for a whole nother reason. Now it's just like, God damn, this is a crazy game. So so let me think back where I was. Okay, I want to say something more about the hair thing, because now that I see us as all being like these minerals and stuff, and they give stuff to, because the bones, the calcium. Yeah, that one lady who everybody follows, I think is she Australian? She's like got a proper accent. Maybe she's English. Maybe she's American. I don't know. But everybody loves her. Everybody follows her. And I don't even know if she's still alive. I don't even know if these are old videos, because we got all these people following Dolores Cannon, and she's dead. I think some of these people, I don't even know if they know she's dead. That this woman, she's always all these home remedy stuff. Like, anybody who's into that natural, holistic and stuff, they would have to know she's this little lady, and she says all this, like I think maybe she's a scientist background or something. I don't know. She's smart. And she was talking about bones aren't really calcium. Like, they've told us that they're calcium. So she's like, they're 19 different elements, and they're 65. Like I can't repeat other people's stuff. And so she's like, it's not, it's all these other elements and stuff. And that's what you need to keep your bones up, is like bromine, which is boron, I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was boron. Yeah, I don't know. You have to go in and watch her clip. Like I said, I can't just repeat somebody else's stuff. It's not inside my head. And so all these different elements, like off of the elemental table, I can't think of what that thing's called. This thing that fucked with me in chemistry class. And so those are the things that we need to be putting, like copper, iron, I don't know what all, if we need aluminum, but they're poisonous. Like they're using some of them against us. Like I said, they get this science experiment. They know what they're doing. They even know the mysticism of it. They even know that that we are here because we think we're here, because they're pulling us into their reality to create this control over us and over our minds. But you got to remember, this is all a big experiment too. Not just their experiment, because this is a universe experiment. Because I was told about this when I was a little kid. And this is all of us different beings coming together. That's all this big mix up of DNA. Like, this is a big celebration. Like, and we win. But there's going to be a ton of people that leave. But that doesn't mean that they lose. That's what people got to see. The people leaving aren't losing. They're playing their parts. Everybody is like a giant symphony. And we need everybody to make this beautiful music. And so it's, everybody's part is important. So nobody should get caught. And then you've got the people who are so fucking nasty right now. Like, so rude to people. It's like, God, you have no empathy. You don't even understand soul stuff. You don't understand what's going on here. You don't, like, ugh. I was like, man, people are so up their own fucking ass, I swear to God. And, she's doing much better, but she will not let me near that toenail. And it looked like the bottom part maybe could come off, and now it's just her little skin nub thing. And then the top is the part that's just like, I was like, just let me cut it back a little. And she just will not. She keeps pulling her foot. So I keep talking to her and talking to her. And I know people think I'm so wacky the way I talk to her, but you just don't know how much stuff that she understands. Like, you have to live with somebody and see. Because there's a reason why I talk to her the way I talk to her. And I know so many people, because I get comments from people around me, not in here. The people around me, it's like, why do you talk to her like that? She's a dog. She doesn't understand. It's like, she's a soul and she fucking understands. The more you fucking communicate, the more that you build communication. But it's not just up to her. I've got to tune in. I got to pay attention to what she's saying back. And sometimes you'll hear something in your head. Sometimes you'll see something. Sometimes you can feel something. You just get tuned into life in a different way. But also, I think, man, I'm talking to people who have fucking burnt their antennas off. They're fucking waterlogged their brains with alcohol and drugs. And because the pharmaceuticals are fucking destroying people's connection to themselves. And they're doing all this stuff on purpose, like I said, because they're trying to get to this Gen Alpha. You know, they're a beginning of their thing. And think about that too, how they said it takes 4 generations to get there. And they named them right there in front of us. So we could see, yeah, that worked. Yep, that worked for sure. Boy, these people, they're on it, man. Not when you got people who don't pay any fucking attention, you know, you can fuck them over. So, but now going, so I had gone off of the magnesium and the vitamin, all that stuff. And so I was off of them for a while, and then I was out in the sun because I love to be in the sun. And it sucks where they keep not giving us any sun. But also living in the forest, you know, already got a limitation on that. And so, but when there was all that going around, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to take those because it was just another fucking thing. And so just focusing more on my health and stuff. But then I don't know what it was. What somebody said gets me. Oh, maybe because of my joints aching. So, you know, I tried different things. So I was like, okay, I'll try the magnesium again. So I went on that. And so that information came from somewhere and it clicked. And I was like, okay, yep, I'm going to do that. Ordered it, got it, and started taking it. And then somewhere I had seen some other video that came up and it said something about the copper cup and all these benefits and stuff. And every time they do the one on the hair, I'm always like, oh, I would like the hair. Um, but now I see it different. But but there was other ones in there where I was like, man, I just got to start doing this every day, not just randomly and I don't feel good. And so I swear to God, it was only a couple weeks ago. Then the videos started popping up in my thing about copper cup and magnesium together. And then this lady, whoever she is, I don't know if Ruth is coming in my head, but also that's that brand that everybody is always pushing. So I don't think her name's Ruth, but maybe it's Beverly or something. And so I see too many things at once. Hold on just a second. So, okay, so then I got that information brought to me, and then this other information about the elements, which in what we're made up of and stuff like that, and then thinking about what my mom said with that pharmacist. She told me that so many times, it was like beat into my brain about this enzymes that we need. And you get these enzymes, a lot of enzymes are in like peppers and stuff, which I eat a lot of peppers. I eat a lot of jalapeno peppers. But so these enzymes that we need, he said that you run out of them. If you run out of them, you just couldn't keep going. You just die. And so that creates death, right? Creates the end of somebody. So, and then not having them and then getting signs like your hair is turning gray and stuff shows you that you're deteriorating. It's not anymore about like, oh, you're just aging, your hair's turning gray, you're just getting older. No, you are having a lack of minerals, a lack of enzymes and stuff that you need. Your body's showing you and telling you, and you're going still with the glamour, oh, well, it looks good, I'm not worried about it, and people like it, people compliment you all the time. And so, people always will tell you, oh my God, I love your hair. And I think it is because people have gotten away from natural hair so much. If people all went back and started doing their natural hair and started seeing all the beautiful colors that are in their own hair and stop, going, then people would see, different hairs all the time. Everybody just sees all these funky, everybody just goes for these same colors. Let's all look alike. Let's all put on these fans on our eyes and put the same hair color, get lip injections, do smoky eyes or whatever. Like everybody just all wants to look alike instead of just learning to like yourself and, standing alone in your own, not blending in. Everybody just wants to blend in, blend in, blend in. But anyways, I have a totally different outlook now on this silver thing and how, and I want to learn more, now to know that magnesium and copper, and I cook a lot in my iron pans too. So if you started doing this stuff, is what I'm saying. So if you start drinking out of the copper and you're like, well, my hair's not turning, and then you start taking magnesium, like I also cook a lot in my cast iron skillet. So that, and that's supposed to be really good for you, because that was something, it's so funny too, because all the way back when I was young, because I'm telling you, like, even if your parents were horrible, they always give you lots of good things. And like, I wouldn't even just say my parents were horrible. They were, my challenge. They were who I came in to learn from. And but when I was younger, my dad had given me this big cast iron pan, and he told me how to take care of it and stuff. But I was young and stupid, and I was like, I only didn't know how to do that. And so I got it all rusted and fucked it up. And but he was trying to tell me how important it was, because he's from the farm and stuff, so he's like of the old ways. And so anyways, it is good to cook out of and you should be getting rid of all of those all those weird pans. They are really, really poisonous for you. I just can't even believe it. And I know it still looks light here, but I'm telling you, it is so trippy, and to be so fast. And I keep thinking about like my health too, of the difference of how I feel about And to me, it kind of just seems like this is like Benjamin Buttons or something. Man, when they say there's a fountain of youth, it's just like, just drink some fucking minerals. And that our body needs. Some stuff that we're made of, that we start becoming depleted. And, oh man, there's so many sad things going on right now. But there's one, I just saw this young girl last week in Texas. I think it was in Texas. She went out, it was like the high school kids all getting together. They got a fire pit. This happens all the fucking time. This happens so often, you wouldn't believe it. And out of the fire pit, and it was a can too, so it was more contained. And some kid went over and threw in a pan of gasoline, and the other kids were standing there, didn't know, and it exploded. And one girl, she's been conscious. I don't know if anybody else got burned, but this one girl did, 90% of her body. And she's been in the ICU or wherever for a week, unconscious. They don't know if she's going to regain consciousness and all that stuff. I can't believe they haven't even already started cutting shit out of her, really. And the thing that just struck me is like, oh my God, the pain and stuff like that. And this is where I think people are going to just be so pissed, is to know, like, you've got those med beds sitting right there, and she wouldn't have to feel anything, that she could just be right back. And this is what we got to go through. And, I don't know. It's just like, just a lot of feelings about the whole thing, about, like, because there's a lot of things. But then I know, like, on the spiritual level, you do come in for that pain and suffering, because that's where you grow from. And, there's nothing that's going wrong. I mean, like, I know, like, the white hats can't just go start pulling out med beds, but it seems like it's starting to get weird like that. What was this? There was another huge divisive thing. I can't remember what it is. It seems like it's something with the hospitals or something. Oh, there's a big suit going now on the letter agencies that are supposed to be protecting our what we take in. Now that's starting. There's going to be all these different ones. It's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff. And it's going to take everything down, It's going to collapse these corporations and stuff, thank God. And another thing too about these corporations. So, the one plastic surgeon office, then they had pissed me off with this. So, well, if you're over 60, then you need to have a doctor's, okay, you do have a different doctor. Tell this doctor that they can allow you to pay them $100 to come in and talk to them about getting a surgery. Like, these doctors can't fucking figure it out for themselves. They can't look at you and sit across from you and assess you. Like, you have lost all personal assessment abilities. Like, where is your fucking brain? And when you have your consultation, then you would assess the person, and then you would say, okay, well, I need labs, make sure, or an EKG. You would talk to them. That's what the consult's about. And no, they don't want to do that. They need a doctor. It's like they're making you jump through hoops. And so I was like really irritated about that. So then I had all these hopes in the morning, right, that I was going to message this one that this girl had said. And her name was Kelly. So I was looking for those little synchronicities. I was like, okay, maybe this is a good thing. Well, you're always learning stuff. So even if it doesn't go in the direction that you wanted to, you're always learning stuff. So I definitely learned more. So I called all those different ones that she had said, which was 3. One was in Seattle, which was such a shit show. I couldn't believe it. And then 2 of them were in Portland. But the shit show, I started running into it over and over and over again, where it started developing a pattern, where I started seeing something more that was going on. And so then I realized, not only do they just have robots, I'm talking now, who are out working, that they're cut off from themselves. They're just working, They don't care. They're not thinking. They're not having compassion. They're not communicating. They're not, they're probably thinking about their grocery list while they're talking to you or something. They're not engaged, right? And so calling the one in Seattle. So you couldn't call an office. You have to call through this hospital. And then, so you're calling these big corporate practices. So it's kind of like what they did with the hairdresser thing. How they had, got all these little quick cut places. So all the corporates got all the quick cut places and got all the people to work for them. And then, and they have a way of hurting people, moving them. Then they get them into those isolated little sweet things and then drive the price up. So, get them out of the beauty salon kind of environment, which was always a big thing for women, to go to the beauty salon, sit and talk. Back in the day when women went in for their regular set, because women didn't do their hair, they went into the beauty salon and they'd get their hair washed and they'd get it set and they'd all sit under the dryers and chit chat and talk about what's going on in one another's lives and who did what and all that stuff. And so then it started moving away from that, which I'm sure was all on purpose, because it's always been to move us out of that village, kind of out of that communication where we're all bonded together like that, and where you have support. Like, look at these kids now. Like, yeah, they're fragile. They don't feel supported by anyone, anything. They're cut off from everybody. This Gen Alpha, their creation. And so hold on, now I got lost again. So the creation, the generations, the going, oh God, I don't know how I get so off. Okay, so let me think back what, because I keep on wanting to be like about this hair still. I just can't even get over it. It's so weird. I was so used to it getting just lighter and lighter and lighter, and now it's going back the other way. And I think that my eyebrows, the eyebrows that were turning white, I think they're turning back brown. So it's like, I swear to God, it's like going backwards in age. And I think, I think everybody, once they start taking care of themselves and knowing this kind of stuff, knowing that, you need to take these enzymes, you need to stay on top of the minerals and stuff. That's the stuff that will make you more healthy and not from aging. So I don't know, because there's all these people, who are really into drinking like collagen and all these different things. And like, I have all those different roots. Like, I've got everything covered, everything that you can, everything that I always hear. Because I have so many, and then I'll hear a thing about it. Like, I just heard one about moringa. It was like, oh my gosh, I've been drinking that a long time, and it's got a lot of benefits. So I'll hear those different ones. And then I'm always like, gosh, dang, I've got to be getting so much healthier. But this one is where I really see something different, is drinking out of the copper. But if you're going to do it out of drinking out of the copper, so if you're going to get a cup, because I got one of these tall cups, and then you fill it with the water, and then you got to make sure you dump it the first night. Don't drink the first water. And your plants love copper, so I give the plants the water that's left all the time. And so and then I leave it sitting. You can see it right there. It's hard to do stuff backwards like this. I can't believe I tattooed my chest by looking in the mirror doing this backwards. So that cup right there, that's how tall it is. So I fill it up with my water over there, and then I leave it sitting there overnight. And then when I drink all my cup and it gets empty, then I just go fill it back up and then fill that one back up and leave it sitting there and just keep doing that. You're not supposed to drink it if it's been sitting longer than like 12. You got to look it up and stuff. And each person's body is different. Like, you've got to monitor. You may only to keep it in there for a couple hours, and then you can tell. Because to me, when I had too much of it, it made me really nauseous. It made me feel sick, man. So just listen to your body. But also it's the magnesium too. But just, you got to just see like the different things, because just because I'm short in like these kinds of, but there is some that are really common. vitamin D, magnesium, and obviously copper are common ones though. But you got to just see what, you just got to really focus on your own health. I could just share the things that I see in mine and things that I'm learning. And oh yeah, so when I called that other plastic surgeon's office, so the one in Seattle, because all the other ones, every one of these ones I call, no, they will only do general anesthesia, and they want to do an en blanc. They want to go in there and dig everything out, make themselves real important. Who cares about your health? Like, we're dealing with Frankensteins here. Like, these bunch of fucking wacko people. These doctors have gone completely psychotic. And they're all, this really shows too, is that they're all just sheep. They're all just herded into a corral under a corporate mask. And the corporations are obviously do the HR and stuff. I don't think the doctors even know what's going on the phones. I think they're just hired, just like the beauty salon people, when you get out of school and they just hire you and you just go and do the work. And they do everything else. They don't, and these doctors are cut off from knowing anything. And so I'm sitting here arguing with this receptionist. And so she starts telling me the same thing. You can't come in for she can't even talk to me. She can't even transfer my phone call to the person who makes the appointments without me having a doctor's referral. And I'm like, I am trying to reach a plastic surgeon's office. That is not, why would I need a doctor's referral to a plastic surgeon's office? I don't know. I'm following the protocol. That is what we have to do. It says right here. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I need a referral? Who's going to refer me to go get cosmetic surgery? Like, why would I need a referral? And she's like, I don't know, but that is what you have to do. And she's getting so mad. And so I was just like, oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous. And so call these other ones. And so then I started seeing all of them. So all of them started saying, you have to have a doctor, you have to have a referral, you have to have a physical where the doctor says that you can have surgery before they will have you come in to even talk, to get a consultation. You have to have a doctor's referral. So another doctor has to tell them that you can come to their office. So see how they get this system going. Keep us running around doing all this stuff that is nonsense. And so you got to go to the other doctor so you can get a physical to come to this doctor so that they can assess you, so you can come in and pay for their consultation fee, so you can go in and just tell them what you want to do, because they're not going to tell you anything over the phone. You can't find out anything on the phone. And then you have to go in there, pay the $100, because now plastic surgeons charge you, probably because so many people went in and got consultations and then didn't get the surgery because the surgeries were so expensive. It's like, start doing stuff cheaper. Like, you just mark shit up just so you can pat yourself on the back and talk about how expensive you are. It's like, it's absurd. It's like the greedy, it's like this energy's just created these psychopaths. And then they just feed off this system, and the system is totally corrupt and it's totally against us. And then so anyways, it's all this bullshit. And so I had called my doctor's office to see if they would send a referral over so that I could get an appointment for a consultation. So I knew it would be the same shit that I knew would happen. Well, we haven't seen you in 2 years, so you have to come in. We have to do. And I was talking to this one, and she kept telling me that, well, you have to go to a doctor. You have to go in regularly in order to be assessed all the time for a doctor to decide if you've got something wrong. You got to go in and get labs. It's like, what in the hell has happened in our society? It's like, so I have nothing wrong with me. I'm not taking any meds. I've got nothing wrong. I'm totally healthy. I'm not sick. I don't get sick or anything like that. But I need to run to a doctor, pay them to confirm to me that I'm healthy in order to be in the medical system. You have to, these are part of their hoops, because what they want to do is find something, because they know that they're making this all, so they know you know, it's very likely they're going to find something. And they're hoping, ooh, big money on the cancer. They're like, man, we're hoping. Find a lot of those ones. We get that kickback. So, you know, they're all, you know, hoping for that. So, you know, got to get you in there. And get you in there and get the labs and get that business. So, my office called and said, you know, I'd come in and get a well check. So then I was like, okay. So I made this appointment to get this well check. So it's the 18th is this well check. And 2:30 in the afternoon, go in and get this fucking stupid ass well check thing. And I know that they're going to say they have to do labs, and they're just looking. They're trying to find something wrong with all of us so that they can get us on something. That's the main fucking goal. And then they get you on something. So I just saw this video, and I really felt for this kid. So he's a young kid. He's 26 years old. So he got kicked off his parents' insurance. So he had to go out and get his own insurance. So he went and he got his own insurance. He has to pay $250 a month. And then he has to go in and pay $60 for a copay. And so he had to find a neurologist because he's on prescriptions, and the neurologist has to see him. So he found a neurologist on his insurance, went and looked on the website, found one, made an appointment, went in, got his appointment, pull out his insurance card, and they say, oh, we don't take that insurance. And he's walking down the street just ranting, like, what in the hell? Like, it was right off the thing, and I'm already paying $250 a month. They've got me on this medication that's going to jack my brain up if I go off of it. So, you know, because he's going to a neurologist, so crossing this blood-brain barrier shit. And so, and this is going to happen with a lot more and a lot more and a lot more. It's going to be a part of the fall, a part of the collapse. More people who are on this stuff won't be able to get to it. They're going to go through horrible withdrawals. There'll be all sorts of things that will go on. Because it's not everything's got to play out. So it's going to be a lot of stuff. But it is, and I don't know, you know, I don't know that things are going to go until we even get to the 18th. All these people now are asking Alexa. And Alexa is saying at midnight, between the 7th and 8th, which I think is this weekend, because today's the 4th, and today's a Thursday. So the 5th is Friday, 6th, 7th. So it would be Sunday night to Monday. So that is where they have said that this was going to go on. Well, that's what it said on X-Files anyways. But you know, I mean, most of us have all thought, well, yeah, if the bank collapses and stuff, they're not going to tell everybody on a Friday. They're going to tell everybody, you know, after. They're going to let shit go down all weekend. And there's so much shit going down, man. There's so much, like, I guess Bitcoin just collapsed or something. But, so Alexa, if you ask her, she says that on that night at midnight, Sunday night, so the 7th to the 8th at midnight, that we're going to go into shutdown. I think the power goes out too. No power, shut down for 2 weeks. So I don't know. You know, that's what Alexa's saying. So when everybody's sharing that, so but. So fucking, that's like the day before I even get paid. So then it's like, man, and it's always at that paycheck is where I go and get stocked up on groceries and everything. But to me, it's like, well, if it does, I mean, I definitely can survive. I've got beans and flour. But you may not even have an oven to cook, which I still have peanut butter and crackers. So I don't know. It's just whatever. At this point, it's just whatever. I mean, Africa is split again, and there's another huge split. So, and it's splitting into like 3. And I'll tell you what's so wild about this. So, you know, I had seen about this map from Dolores Cannon stuff, her talking about it. Maybe it was in a conference too. I don't think it's in her books, because I watched her conferences too. And I didn't read all her books. I only read a couple of them. And so she was talking about all these generals that were moving up there into the high mountains up in the Appalachian. And she was like, after it started being a couple, she started thinking it was weird. And so she started asking And I don't know how, I don't remember now the whole thing, how it was that she started saying, look at the projected naval map. So you go into Google and you put in projected naval map, and this map would pop up. And, look at it and it'd be like, oh my gosh, that's where I started seeing it the first time. So this was back into like 2016. And, so I had seen all these land masses were going to change. And so I was already thinking about moving. And so I was trying to decide where to move. And I didn't want to move to a place that was going to, because I really wanted to move to Louisiana. But my kids are having a fit, and the crime, and then it's going to be underwater. And so then anyways, I just remember looking at it back then. And then I don't know if it was TikTok or Twitter or something. It was in the last couple of years where all of a sudden all these people started talking about the doomsday map. And then I saw where Forbes had put out a map called the doomsday map. And all these people were talking about, oh my gosh, this is the doomsday map. And when I had seen some other people talking about it, they were talking about all of these billionaires who have bought up all this land in these areas. Like they're trying to buy up all of the land. And, but see, like if you don't be scared and you look into stuff, especially if you look into Donnie's stuff, then you see all those executive orders. All these people are losing all their stuff. Doesn't matter what they go and buy. They're losing it all. He has it in the exact, everything is being confiscated. If you're involved in any of these crimes, these certain ones that all these people are involved in, they lose all their stuff. And so all their stuff goes back to the people. It's all in there. And this is global. This isn't just here. This is happening. This is already happening. That's what the BRICS nation is all about. You have to sign on the peace treaty to get on the gold standard. All the corruption. That's why you have all of these different countries where there's different leaders stepping down. Like Denmark, the queen just stepped down. I think it was Denmark. She's probably... Man, she could probably fuck. I bet you some of those royals or stuff are, hundreds, like if not thousands of years old. Like it's creepy stuff, man, with this shit. But there's all these people stepping down. It's like showing us this is really happening. This is really changing. And so the people stepping down. The hell was I? The people stepping down. I didn't ever finish about that too. Oh yeah. Okay, so the thing about those big C guys that they've been pulling up, showing, and then they keep saying, oh, they're puppets. Okay, like we're just gonna do this weird puppet show, and we're gonna put these giant beings, these giant puppets down in space, in water stuff. And who's the puppet show for? The sharks? The whales? The dolphins watching? Like, who's this show for? And so they're pulling them up, and then everybody's freaking out because when they take off the head mask thing, that the being starts like looking around and like interact, like looking around like the fucking robot one that I had seen. And so he's looking around, and people are like, those are real eyes. That's real, there's a soul in there. And so there's a lot of people who think it's like these other beings and stuff. There's people who think that there's a being hiding in there, but I think that they've stolen consciousness. I know that. So I don't know if this is another one that is trapped in there, or if it's another one that maybe, some of these maniacs could be giving their own consciousness, saying, yeah, put me in that. I want to see what it's like. There's no telling what all's going on. And you got to remember, like those scientists, like in The Fly, they practice on themselves, some of them. And so who knows, but some guy was sharing that video, and he works down at the docks in Long Beach. And I don't know what they're called. It's where they come and bring the big ships and bring all those things and stuff. And so he was saying they all have non-disclosures that they have to sign. And he said he's going against his. He said that this big puppet thing. That was it. He said, I'm done. He said, he even said his whole name. He said, I'm telling. And he said that he had footage of one thing. And he said that they will shut everything down. They'll shut the freeway down and everything when they're doing this kind of stuff. He said they pull shit up out of the water all the time. He said that this is real. He said those are real. And there is real stuff. He said, yeah, the footage he got was a sea creature that they pulled up. And I don't know. So I've seen so many lately. So many people keep getting footage of sea creatures. And so many people just keep acting like people are just wacky, man. I swear to God. You're sitting there looking like this thing and you think it's not going to all of a sudden just like what you think are aliens and creatures and stuff. They're all around you. And so there's you should have respect for them. But this thing was huge too. And that's the same thing they did with the giant in Afghanistan. But he said they do it all the time. He said they're pulling shit out of the water. I told you that the water was fucking creepy. I told you there's a whole fucking other world living down in there. Like, it's creepy. And I've seen so much different footage of shit over there. And with the water stuff, with creatures and monsters and stuff. And it's creepy as shit. So anyways, this guy said that there really is giants. They're down in the water. There's alien space creatures, all sorts of stuff down in there. They're always pulling stuff out and they're always hiding it from us. And that was making me think of another thing they were hiding from us. Hold on just a second. Because I wrote down a bunch of stuff too. Now the other side for Gypsy Rose is coming out too, because there was this side that's all supportive, everything she does is perfect. Then now they've got this footage coming out, like, this is creepy. Her new husband, when you overlay the face of her mom, it's the same face. It's like, okay, then you've got all that conspiracy theorist people are going in a whole direction on that. And I don't know. I can say it's definitely weird and creepy. But maybe she's drawn to a face that looks familiar, that she's attracted to it or something. But I don't know. Because supposedly she didn't, he approached her while she was in jail. They didn't meet out in the streets or something. So, what's the chances of that? That this guy who starts writing you just looks like your mom? I don't know. It's weird. But, and then they have some weird interactions and, like, I don't know. There's definitely weird drama going on. Like, she came out fucking hot and running. But now there's people who are like, I was abused as a kid and I didn't kill anybody. And why are they acting like like it's a free pass or something? Like, what's going on in our society? Like, and it's such a good point. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of us who were abused as kids and we didn't kill anybody. And I don't know. I don't want to be all judgy on anybody's case, but there's definitely always more sides to look at everything. She's got all this support on one side. But it's like the same thing of all this stuff going on with the strip. Like, everybody's just trying to, I don't know. It's like wacky out there right now. It's so wacky. And all this stuff on Donnie. So they released the information that everybody was hanging on the edge of their seat for. So it was released, and it was a big dump file, apparently. Even though they said they weren't going to do it till the 22nd, it dumped out last night or something. So everybody was in a frenzy reading it, or sometime yesterday, I think. And everybody was in a frenzy reading it. And there's tons of files, and then they're sharing and talking about it. And there was a bunch that went straight in to try and find Dawn's stuff. And Donnie. And because there's no way we can be saying this name right now. And he is, all of the girls say no, he was never there. We never did no. And, but then, he's on the plane, but I don't know why everybody thinks like every single one of these people went to a certain type of party, even when there is parties there, like you gotta, You got to think, like, there's a big giant party going on. There's tons of rich people. There's tons of, even like celebrities. Like, I'm sure they get kind of awestruck when they go around, like politicians or scientists and stuff. Everybody's got somebody that they feel, like are smarter or better than them. And so you're at this big ass party with politicians. And then think about that too. All these different things, these political events, and how they pull in these certain celebrities. So, right, because they're friends at the parties. And because that's where you start developing these friendships. But then that's where you start getting these tendencies. Because you can, like Cappy had said, I heard of some other ones, it's like there's all different rooms. You go around, it's all different rooms. You got to be careful what room you go into. But so you would go into a certain room, like I guess apparently there was a room with fucking Hawking. Then there were the 3 girl, like what the hell? I just like an image I don't even, oh my God. I don't know. It was just something really disturbing about the whole thing. And it's not like you think like people in wheelchairs don't have needs or something, but Jesus Christ, come on. Everything got to go into some sort of fetish and perversion. And so, anyways, it isn't like, I'm sure there was a main room at these parties where it was just a party where people are just standing around drinking and talking. Then it's where you start getting your pervy side. And then I would watch what I drank there. I'd make sure I brought my own drink. I wouldn't want to be drinking out of their punch bowl. Because they have a tendency to get people in a certain state of mind. Don't you see, like, what they all keep going down for? They're all getting in trouble for that shit. So then they go in and then they get these girls to make, here, come in, I'll help you, and then get them into compromising positions and get it on film and stuff so that they can, there's the whole fucking thing. It wasn't just, that was like a group of people. It wasn't like every single person who went to a party. It was like, oh, well, okay, well, just because you're at my house, I guess you get to know all my business. I think there's people who went to his parties who had no idea who he was. He's a rich guy having a party. How many of these? There's probably so many. I don't know why people get so focused on just his. There are probably some going on right now. They're all over the place. I got these rich people go by. Oh, and, yeah, because I was back on that. Okay, so the map thing. Okay, so Japan just had that big event, and then a new island popped up. So this island came up from the bottom of the ocean. And so, in Africa, split yesterday again, because it split like last year, the year before. It split a long split down the middle, but now it's split another one going over. So on this one was somebody doing a video. It was Edgar Casey. And so Edgar Casey had predicted all these changes to the map, that all this stuff was going to happen. Like, he could see this event coming, and he could see all these things changing on the water. So I don't know. This guy was showing the doomsday map as he was going in and explaining Casey's predictions and going in and showing all the doomsday map. So the doomsday map matched it. I always assumed the doomsday map, or the naval map, as I knew it, was from Looking Glass. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, is this Edgar Casey's map? And then even if it was, like, I'm sure that I'm sure he did enough predictions that his stuff would be trusted by a certain group of people. But I also wonder if they didn't look in Looking Glass and see. Like, maybe he said maybe his was more vague, but this map was so detailed. But so he was saying there's going to be a lot of little islands in Europe, but they're going to be little islands. And a lot of, like, Ireland's going to be gone. There's going to be so many places going to be gone. And in Ireland and in Europe, the tectonic plate thing collapses. So there's plates under there that are going to collapse. And that is where Europe is going to go underwater. And then when you think about them with this evacuation, Like, they're evacuating all these people to Europe because they're having the same thing as here, which somebody got some crazy footage here. Is that, because all these people keep going down to where they've got all of these migrants everywhere. And they keep going down. Well, this person went down and was getting all this footage because there was so many kids. But see, they could be families too. Like, people are so suspicious of everything. Because I know that there's a lot of people that are not coming, but these kids were just standing there. They weren't, because a lot of the ones that they were showing at the board, they're asleep. They knock them out on drugs and stuff. These ones were just standing there. They weren't distressed. They weren't acting like anything, but maybe they are also told, you better act like it's a certain way. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it was like a mix of everything. But all the adults in the line, all of them had an ankle monitor on. So this lady just started freaking out, and she was with another person, and they just started freaking out, and they start going up the cop. Because there's cops, and they started going like, you're destroying our country. Like, they were freaking out. They were so outraged. And I started thinking, I wonder if they are putting these on them to track some of these people. Like, one of the people that I think why she started looking is because one of them was going off. So she started saying, you're not even out, you're out of your place. You're beyond where your limitation is. Your thing is going off. It was like, man, so it's been going off for however long they walked or wrote about, like they had to come across walk across Mexico or something to get here. So was it going out the whole time? Like, where did it come from? Or are they getting them here? And there's way more going on. I'm sure there's way more going on about it here. But anyways, I still don't know. To me, I think with all these ones that are coming in here to America, that they are doing it for evacuation things too. Because there's a lot going on down there. And there's a lot of changes that are going to happen. And in the Edgar Casing thing, it had the Africa split in this third part. And so over here in America is that the Great Lakes are going to all expand and become like one big lake. And then it's going to go down into the Mississippi. The Mississippi is going to spread and become much wider. And it's going to cut into a bunch of states. On the West Coast, the water is going to come up. And that too is something about the tectonic plates. I don't know. You could go in and listen to the whole Edgar Casey prediction. But I was like, man, I didn't know about that. And so that map thing, to me, it just gets more and more trusting as to, paying attention. That we are definitely going to be, being shuffled around, being moved around. And that's why I swear to God, there's some sort of evacuation going on. But I don't understand with the Europe thing because, maybe they have a better idea of time. But this stuff is happening. It's already going. Like Iceland split. There's a whole bunch of shit going with the volcanoes and the earthquakes. And anything can bring a tsunami with all this stuff. Plus, anything can just go. There was an explosion right before I started. There was an explosion last night. There keeps being explosion. There keeps being helicopters going around. I go outside sometimes and I'll hear sirens. You used to never hear sirens. And I hear sirens every day. And I think that they go over there and start doing work, sometimes start pounding. I think they do it on purpose to cover up other sounds. Like, it was just like the Truman Show. Like, go over there and mask the noise. Go over there and beat on stuff so the people don't realize there's stuff exploding. So I think there's stuff going on over here, but I don't know. I still just, every time I look, this water is coming in and taking this whole area. And the places that are safest is less like what that general was saying is like up high, going up higher in the mountains. But right now, we're also there, everything that has been living around us that has been in the shadows is being seen. So it's no longer living in the shadows because the vibration is changing and things are being seen. And this was trippy. So in Miami, there was all this footage. And this is crazy footage. I have never seen so many cops before in my life. So it's like from a high rise or something. And you can see it is so many cops. I can't even tell you. It looks like 1,000 cops, cop cars, all with their sirens going. They cleared the roads and stuff. They're just going. They were all pulled up and up on this mall, apparently. And this is more than I've ever seen for any kind of these kind of things. Nothing. You just got to go in and Google that footage of Miami cops. Just put in those search words, and or Miami caught. I don't know what else to put, because depending on your search engine, it can interfere with what you're trying to see. So, but if you go like on TikTok or Twitter or something, and probably on YouTube, and you should be able to see the footage. It's whacked, man. It's so many cops. But the thing that's wacky is, so all the people are saying the reason all the cops came was because all these people were calling from the mall that there was 8, 9, 10-foot alien creatures walking around in the mall. And I thought I had heard too that they were attacking people. So I don't know. But so now we got the creatures aren't just out in the woods, coming in people's yards. They are now coming up closer in the water and stuff. Now they're just going in the mall. Just go on in the mall and see what's up. And because everything is going to be seen. It's like, and there's so much going on in the sky. And that is like a galactic federation kind of thing. Is like the treaties and stuff that were set between the like galactic federation and the governing forces here. There was, a period of time where it's like, no, we will, you tell them or we will tell them. And we're in the, you didn't tell them fast enough, so now they're going to see. So now you got questions to answer from them. And so it's going to keep being seen and being seen. And then they're going to probably keep trying to cover it up. They'll come up and try and attack us and stuff. Like, who even knows? Some of these things that people keep seeing up in the sky could be our own government doing it. Like, there's wacky stuff. There's a lot of wacky stuff going on, like over by Florida. A lot of weird stuff, like a lot of people are noticing that this weird fog comes in, which I think we got to quit calling it. I think we need to just start calling what it is, nerve gas. That's what they've used throughout time. These governing forces have used to defeat their enemies, and are doing it again, and that's why we're all sick, and that's why they want everybody to circulate through the doctors. Everybody go in and get a physical. Everybody get in there and find out what's wrong with you so we can get you on something. We got something to get you on. It's like, God, it's just so obvious. It's so gross. It's so disgusting. They all, and the doctors who are out working, the egomaniacs that must be out there. And to be such a sheep. You just work for a corporation. You have no idea about anything. They're out there making the rules, deciding. You're under the thumb. And you are just, it's like they're creating a herd or creating a flock. Like the doctors have become a flock. They're just under one mind. They aren't individuals. They're just becoming a product of what is like a Rockefeller product. It's what they wanted, and that's what they've got. They've got their Gen Alpha. They got their, their product, these medical things. But see, we have to see through it. We're the ones who have to see. And I'm going to keep jumping through the hoops until until I hit a brick wall, because I want these things out of me. And if I have to go pay $100 to different doctors, once I get this fucking physical release, but it's just still is like, fuck. Well, I got a few good things, is I've been taking so many things that kill all. I think that probably the pains in my body really are from the either the tattoo ink, the aspartame, or the plastic in my body. Like, it's something inside of me that I need to get out of me, because my body is trying to get it out. It's my body's reaction. And so I think it will be a huge improvement, but I don't think I have anything wrong. But I was even thinking, man, I can go back and get that Hep C recheck that she wanted me to do. So then they can go do that. And they can even alter. I swear to God, I would not put it past these corporations to alter shit. I mean, there's some crazy stuff coming out with people saying stuff. And there is definitely altering going on to get people on certain things and stuff. So, and then they think it's like they're the cops. They're like the cops of our health, and where they can even call and get your kids removed and stuff. Like, this is so wacky. So wacky. It's all what we allow, though, you know. It can go as far as we allow it. Luckily, people are starting to notice and step up, but look at how pushy and disgusting it has to get, man. It's so gross. But anyways, I'll jump through the hoop, you know, if the medical keeps going for the next couple of weeks. Go in and get the stupid ass physical. Try and see if I can get in with the one in Seattle and get, because that one's closer, and see if she'll do the local anesthesia. I can't believe how they all want you on general. It's like, dude, last time I went in and got general anesthesia, I got fucking brain injury. And then after that, I already had conscious sedation for the colonoscopy, and my blood pressure is so low that they can't even, you can't give it to me. My blood pressure just drops. So I don't want either of the things. That interferes with my health. Why in the fucking hell would I go and put my brain through that shit again? Fuck. It's fucking whacked. And they don't have any respect. And especially, I'm not asking for something that's not done. Like, I was sitting back just waiting for the med beds till I started seeing these doctors coming out and saying all these simple explants they're doing. Just in the office, just real quick, whack, then it's all gone. So it's not like I'm saying, but you still have these ones that are so up their own ass, you know. They just go, well, we do non-blanc with a general anesthesia at our surgical suite. We have a surgical suite. Come over there and we'll treat you like a queen as we chop up your body. Fucking drug the fuck out of you and hope that you wake up. Fucking bullshit, man. So anyways, you know, I'll go and see. And then weirdly enough, too, that other office, the one where I was like third person, I was like, this is bullshit. Another one they called me and they said, oh, we're just calling back from your request on the online. I already had that. And then she's like, hopefully you call. And so anyways, after I get my thing, if the Seattle one won't, I may just use my referral. So, and get into that one again. But I couldn't believe that thing. Oh, what's your BMI? What's your this? What's your that? What's your age? And all this shit. It's like, to pay $100 to talk to a doctor? Like, what? Oh my God. I just don't even know anymore. It's just, this is wacky shit. This whole place is just so wacky, and people just put up with so much wacky shit. And I just still can't get over. It's what we think is aging is really us dying. We're just dying. We're just dying right in front of everybody. And I just look at these there's all these websites and stuff of like silver foxes. Like if you go on Instagram, I'm not on Instagram anymore, but this used to be, because I used to see these all the time, these silver foxes and all these men, good looking men who, they're all silver. They've got silver beards, silver hair, and they're all rugged and suntanned and everything. Now it's just like, oh my God, but you're dying. You're dying. You're all your enzymes are, you're dying. Like, so anyways, I wrote down a bunch of stuff to make sure I didn't forget, because I was like, oh, I got way too much stuff. You know, it's kind of weird too. I talked about this poster a long time ago. It was a poster back from when I was a kid, and it had like Uncle Sam on it, and it would say, I want you. And it was everywhere. I think I probably had one in my bedroom. They were everywhere because it was a bicentennial. It was America's birthday. And so this poster was out, but it also seems like it had to do with Vietnam. It had to do with war, because Uncle Sam wanted you to come work for him. And so right now, all of a sudden they put out a poster of Bobby Kennedy being Uncle Sam. So I don't know. Like, it seems like this is divided right now. Like, where it says, he a good guy or a bad guy? And I didn't even know his was injured. Why he talks. I always wondered why he talked that way. But now people are saying it's because of that, which I don't know. But I don't know. There's just weird stuff that just keeps coming out with these people. But it's all going to keep coming to the surface. But they keep doing these like humilities and stuff. And so I don't know. That is one that I've had a question about too. I think Elon was out of the elite. Like, he grew up in one of those weirdo sicko families and went into science and had all the money and stuff like that. But I think he has a conscious. I think him and his wife are kind of, maybe they may be into dark spirituality or something, but they seem to have an awareness of spirituality. Like, I don't know. I don't think that he is, I think he's pulling free from the world that he grew up in. I don't think that he's bad, even if he's been bad or done bad things. I think that he's going towards redemption. He's trying to change, transmute the energy that he's left behind. He's changed. That's what I think, but I don't know. I mean, they could throw you at any moment, I swear to God. Let me see what other things I read on here. Oh, yeah, because I wanted to say, because this was wild, too. So all these people are going on and looking to see, like, if Donnie's on these things. And, so you got the people who are all supportive of him, that they ran in to go look so that they could say, ha, ha, I told you. And so you got those people. Then you got the people who are going on and they're trying to prove that he is. So they're like, he's all right there on it. So I don't know. They're all arguing as usual. But this one was wild because this one girl, because this is like her role in this whole thing, the bold glamour, and she's all into the politics, and she has that really snotty, condescending edge to her. And so she, but it's her role. It's what she's here to, the part she's playing. And she is, and, I don't know, she can be hard, but I went in and looked at some of the comments, and it was like, oh my God, how are these people still this whacked out? Like, and some of them I went to check and see if they were bots and they were real people. There are so many people who are still so whacked out, and they just think like Donnie has done all these bad things and we're all just sheep. Then we all just believe. It's like, God damn, there's so much stuff. There's so much evidence. Like, God. Oh my God, you see how you can keep yourself so trapped. People keep themselves so trapped, man. Not even looking into things, not looking bigger, not seeing. And look at how much fear it can take away. The more you know, the less there is to fear. I think so many of the people who are so scared, and it's so wild how there's so many of these spiritual people and stuff, and they're so scared. It's like, I don't know. I feel like the more you know, the less there is to fear. And yeah, we're in a cataclysm. Yeah, half the people are going to go. And yeah, I believe that the people who are going to go feel it in their bones. Like, they know that they're going. But it isn't that they are leaving the world. They're not ceasing. They're just leaving the game. It's just the game. It's just that part, it's like the storyline has to have this dramatic ending. There has to be this big finale. This is a big split. This is like the dark and the light battle. And so there has to be a grand finale. And then there has to be the survivors. And then the survivors have to be the ones that are motivated to make change, to direct society into a new way of living. And then this new way of living comes from this whole big thing. And so then this whole new game, this new experience begins. So all those things are a part of how it has to play out. And, there's going to be a ton of people that are going to leave. And there's going to be a ton that are going to be huge groups. Like California, like any day that these tectonic plates are completely unstable. A fucking island just popped up out of nowhere. So you've got this is completely unstable. Anything can go. And there's like right now on the ground. I feel the ground vibrating right now. And it used to be like you could, when you'd feel this, it'd be like, oh, it must be a big truck going by or something. But no, I'm way off in this neighborhood out by the mountains, still vibrating. So see, you can go at any second, and those tectonic plates go, and there can be like 1,000,000 people gone just like that. And so it was going to be like huge amounts of people that are going to just go boom, just like that. And and you know, something too that was playing with my mind was, it's weird how, you know, if you go in and you listen to near-death experience people, everybody always leaves before. They don't go through all the trauma. You don't sit there getting murdered and then you're sitting there going through it, fighting them and stuff. No, you're out watching. You're just out watching this play out. It's like the ending of something. It's like this shadow. It's like the end of it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, but the energy is gone. It's just this, like a shorting out or something. And but people are always on the sidelines watching. You know, car wrecks, everything. They don't go through all the pain. You know, they're not sitting out there with their arms and legs hanging off like, oh, this really hurts. No, they're just completely normal, completely fine, completely healthy. And so but the thing that was tripping me out was, so many of us all have phobias and pain and injuries and stuff from past deaths. So then I was like, well, that's weird. So we get traumatized by a death that we don't really experience. But the thing that came to me in my mind was that that is like the scar or the wound that you carry into your physicality because it is about something that you're working on. So it's something in that life that you're working on, but it's weird because we all have those dreams of falling, which I know that. Those are all real. Like, we have really all fallen. Like, we've all fallen off of cliffs probably. So I don't know. You know, it's just weird because we don't go through and experience the death, but maybe it is like from witnessing it or something. I don't know. But anyways, that was a question going on in my mind. But whenever I question something, it'll start being things. They'll start coming up. So I'll see what answers I get to that one. This is just tripping me out so much. I can't even believe it. I totally feel like I'm Benjamin Buttons here. Like, oh my God. And it trips me out so much. It's like, man, I just didn't realize how serious it was. Maybe my joints will quit hurting just from drinking more copper. There's still, this one is hurting so bad. I can't believe how bad this hand hurts. And I swear to God, I think it has to do with this radiation. I think they've cranked the radiation up on the phones and stuff. I think they are going all in on trying to make us sick. I swear to God. Yeah, but I was saying, as people have noticed, like this weird fog comes in, then this rain comes in, then people get sick. And there is some places where the hospitals are overrun. They're just overrun with sick people. And if they're just in the halls and stuff and they're all being sick on each other, it's like, people got to quit going to these places. You got to just learn to trust yourself and take care of yourself. There's so many home remedies. There's all sorts of things with, you can slice onions or potatoes and put them in your sock while you're sleeping. It pulls bacteria out. There is that Mullein tea that helps with your lungs. There is dandelion tea that helps with your heart. There is that cayenne that will help with your blood, keeping your blood clean. There's like tons. I see them all the time. I mean, I've been filling my kitchen with this stuff. And, I'm Benjamin Buttons, and I'm age backwards. And, let's see. Oh, yeah, because I just can't even get over those people still being, like, so out to get Donnie. I remembered all the stories that I had written down there, except for this one was this girl. So she was a hairdresser and she went to work, and her husband came by to see her at lunch or something, and started talking about this drunk guy who was outside who had a little kid with him. And, he was disturbed by the whole thing or something. And so the woman, she ended up going outside to go smoke or get lunch or something. And she saw the people he was talking about. And it was and the guy's still drunk, but he's not just drunk, he's on drugs too. So he's just wasted, this big old guy. And he doesn't just have a toddler who's like 2 years old that he's dragging around out here with no coat on. He also has an infant, a newborn, this tiny, tiny infant. And he's just swinging around talking and stuff. And so the woman was like, where in the hell is the mom? And then she sees this like beat down lady who is just sitting over on the stairs doing nothing. And so she goes over and starts talking to her. And at one point, because this is going on all day long, and at one point she went outside and the baby was just laying on the ground. They just had the baby just laying on the sidewalk. Nobody's holding it. Nobody's touching it. Just laying there. And it doesn't have blankets or hats or anything. I think it had one little tiny blanket. No hat, no jacket, nothing. And this little 2.5-year-old just looks traumatized. No, not dressed appropriately either for the cold. And the woman is like a shadow of a person. The guy is just drunk and on drugs and stuff. The hairdresser girl felt so bad. She went in and bought him a whole bunch of stuff and was trying to help the woman because the woman didn't have formula. She didn't have diapers. She didn't have wipes. She didn't have anything. They have nowhere to go. And so the girl went and called all these shelters, and she was finding out all the shelters were like, sorry, there's no place for them to go. This is where people have got to just go squat. You got to go break into empty houses. There's tons and tons of empty houses. And I did see one guy who's doing all these videos, and that's what he's doing. He's homeless, and he's got cancer, and he keeps breaking into houses, but he says so fucking cold in the houses. So he's still so cold. And this guy's got cancer and homeless. So see, where's the medical care? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And so, because he should be in the hospital. So this girl, she goes and gets some of these supplies, and she'd called around, couldn't find him a place. So she did find one place that would take the woman and the 2 kids. And so she went and told him. She said, this one shelter will take you, but it will only take you and the kids. And the husband, of course, chimed in and said, oh, no, my family's not separating. We're staying together. They're not going anywhere without me. And keep in mind, he's all wasted. And just nobody's taking care of these kids or babies. This woman's just beat down, doesn't even, sitting over there just as a ghost, as a person. And I think about, because there was another one, too, I had seen that was super traumatic, something with the kids, and you sit there and you think like, oh my God, these poor kids. And then I always get pulled into this idea of like, no, these are souls. These are souls. They're teaching, like everybody's teaching somebody else, not just baby souls that don't know what's going on, even though everybody forgets. But I think some kids have better memories than some adults. I think some adults somehow get cut off from their spiritual memories, but the kids don't have that yet. They don't have so much distraction. So, because I remember being a kid, and I remember how I looked at my parents. I remember how I looked at the whole situation. I think a lot of kids do, that they look at it as a lot more like, oh my God, these people are weird. And these people even take care of me? What the hell is going on here? So I think that, that there's, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of transformation once people start really realizing that they're souls and they start going in that direction. They'll start going hard in it, that's one thing that humans do, is they do go hard into something. They just keep going hard into the wrong directions. They're just all being misdirected. And the only way you can be misdirected is you're cut off from your own soul. So that's the thing. That's what just stands out, is so many people are just cut off from their own sense of being, from who they are. They're so mind controlled. But that's what I think this game is about, is to see how mind control do they get you. Can you stay clean and clear off of the mind control? I think that is part of, us seeing for why when we're doing it. Like we're doing these games for a reason. Like, this stuff where people think like, I don't know, soul is prison or something. Like souls are all in prison and they're forced to go and incarnate and forced to go into these horrible lives so this God Almighty can get his humor and joy by watching people suffer. It's like, I don't know, it's just weird. Everybody's got just these weird ideas about things. And I think you just got to put more into trying to learn about stuff, trying to learn about the stuff you're interested in, and let all the pieces go together. And people are trying to formulate their opinions when they don't have all the pieces. They barely have any. They're trying to see a whole, they're trying to make their puzzle with just a few pieces, and they're trying to see the picture. It's like you got to get more information. You got to add to your puzzle. You got to do some research, look into things, follow things that you're interested in. And that's one thing too, when you are following the things you're interested in, where they think like you're manifesting or something, there is a lot of self-talk, but it is you reminding yourself of your value, where you're going and stuff. It's like your own self-talk. You're not creating it. By doing that, you're reminding yourself of what is yours. And so it's like everything they look at it just as like from the other side. And I just look at it from a different side. Like most of the things that I hear people talking about, it's like I'm always looking at things from a different side than how I hear people talking about it. There's a lot of sides to look at things, and I'm sure a lot of us have different ways of looking at things. But that is, that's the thing, is you gotta get comfortable with your own side, your own opinion, even though, I get community guidelines on my opinion. Like, my opinion is misinformation. So my opinions are misinformation, just so you know. You don't want to get too serious about my opinions. And to me, they want complete control of our minds and our thoughts. They don't want anybody thinking outside the box. If you start thinking outside the box, it messes up their whole game. But their game is ending. The game's ending, and we're going into a new game. And the people who are here for the new game feel it. They know they're here for change. They feel a drive towards something, some kind of thing that they're here to change, something that they're here to experience. And I think that there's going to be such a do-over. So many things. It's like we lived life through one aspect of it, but now we get to live life through the other. So we get to play both sides in micro, macro, because that is just in one thing, but it's in all things. So, but now you get to experience the other side of whatever you experienced already. So, I don't know. It's got to be coming in. It's got to be coming in quick. It's got to be coming in hot. Things are changing, and they're changing fast. The map is changing. The land is changing. The land is changing fast. There's all sorts of more solar flashes and stuff. And the people who follow that stuff, they keep saying, we've entered a new timeline. We're doing this. We're doing that, and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I just know that this stuff is going to go faster and faster. This is all happening for souls to advance, for souls to connect with themselves and advance. Because as soon as you get out of the game, you're in a game. Like, there's no as soon as you leave the game, you're out of the game. You were in a game. Well, I don't know, because there's all these people who leave and they're confused because of all of this programming on you die. So a lot of people, when they're out of their bodies, become confused because they're like, well, you're supposed to be dead. What am I doing? What am I doing walking around here? Why can't anybody hear me? And how do I get around so fast? Because all you got to do is think of a place and you're there. Which I think that's what we're going more to. I'm telling you, it's like this three-dimensional concept is an anchor. It's like an anchor for your soul. It anchors you into a development stage of self. And then it is like releasing the anchor and going out, because you don't need those identifiers anymore. You have more of a concept of self. So you don't need the same identifiers. And it's like so much programming and stuff. So I don't know if it's like that in all these different, because there's people now, there's way more of the big map going around with all of the different land masses all around us. Mars, Venus, everywhere is all around us. And it looks like so many have ice walls and stuff going around them. Like there's all these containment centers. But it all has to do with vibration. So you move around with your vibration. And so, right now we can't move around because we have these these low vibration gloves that we are in order to experience that it is not needing that so much, not needing that, being able to pull free from that, which is like, it's a dismantling of a prison. I swear to God, it's like dismantling how you've imprisoned yourself as you start understanding yourself and seeing yourself and asking yourself, you know, why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why am I this way? Why am I that way? You know, and yesterday there was a thing where my daughter called me and she started talking about, you know, some with their health. And so I started just going off on the detoxing, is I really want her to detox. And so I just went off on that and I started talking about that and then started talking about the copper. And then she goes, okay, well, I just can't, you know, I just can't keep going on this. You just keep going and you just keep talking and you always are, you just talking, you're always just saying too much stuff. Like you're just, and that's what my kids are always telling me. It's like, you're always just start teaching us. You start saying all this stuff. So anyways, the reason I'm saying that is like, because I have some bad habits. Like I have some things that annoy people. Like I talk and then I don't know, to me, I kind of get lost in my talking. Like I was talking to Lee, well, you can see if you watch me in the morning, you can see. I just still start talking and just like all this stuff keeps coming and I'll keep talking and talking. And so I always have stuff that comes into my head when I'm talking to my kids. I always feel like I'm supposed to be saying these certain things. And they always get annoyed with me. They always think I talk too much. They always think I'm selfish because I'm just talking about my opinions and my weird beliefs. It's like, but you don't understand what my weird opinions and beliefs are yet. So, you know, because they just don't have that value of me yet. They don't see, you know, I'm just their weird mom. And they don't see that the stuff I'm talking about is important. It's important to me. Hey, people, what's happening on the planet is important. The awakening is important. Getting in touch with your spirit is important. So, anyways, now my time's up. No, I don't think I have that much more stuff to say. It's just like wild stuff keeps going. It just keeps, like there's so much wacky stuff happening. And there it keeps being all these dividing. Everything keeps dividing, you know, because both sides have to keep playing out. Everybody gets to decide which side, how do you really feel about it? How do you really feel about it? You got to see all the sides. So people got to quit fighting, quit getting mad. But there is like this nastiness. This nastiness is going to be a big part of this awakening thing. Is this the hatefulness that people have and the division, and you know, you should listen to me, you should do what I say and stuff. Like all those things have to be like learned out of you. You have to look at things differently. You're not here to control others. You're not here to have people take a knee to you. If you feel that you need that, that is because you've got something you need to work on. And so you need to focus on what you need to work on, not what other people need to work on. And then when you know, see what other people are working on and you have the solution, you got to step back and let them figure out their own solution. So that, again, is your problem. It's your patience. It's your needing to jump in and stuff. So anyways, now I will go and we will see what this day holds. So I bet, you know, I don't know, the 7th and the 8th, that's another date going around. And we've got something with the 11th. Like there's always dates going around. There's always stuff happening. Oh yeah, because the 11th is something about the money thing. And the 7th and 8th, everything will have to do with the money thing, I'm sure. Because everything is like, that's why everything's got to collapse and stuff. So then we move into this other way. But it's going to be, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I just think there's going to be, you know, there would be the whole part with the money thing where people just go mindless and angry. And then we will have the government thing. Then we're going to have that whole battle. Because you still have these people who are convinced that there's no good guy. And I'm not saying like the guy's a good guy. I mean, he seems like a real decent guy to me. He does a lot of good work for people. Like, he does a lot of things to help people. But we don't just have one savior. It's like an energy. It's a momentum. It's like a whole group of people are the white, the light, the ones that are trying to do the takedown, the part that divided off from the dark and said, no, we don't align with this. And had to, if you survived that pulling free, they had to come together and join forces and figure out a plan. And that's what they did. This plan has been in the works for like 25, 30, fucking 50 years or something. It's wild. Just as long as they've had their Agenda 2030, they've been having this other group, like there's this two opposing forces have been at war for a long time. And so now we're just at this part where it's all, it's the winners and the losers. Now things are going and they're getting to the point where we see them, and we're supposed to see them because it's supposed to wake us up, because this is a shift in mentality, a shift in consciousness. This is a shift in realities. It's a whole bunch of stuff. So anyways, keep shifting, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.